This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach. So excited for my chat today with an incredible woman. One thing that's so fun about what I do is I get connected with these amazing individuals all over the world that I would have never known if they weren't binge eaters and needed help. So it's like, of course, I'm bummed for you that you're a binge eater, but it's also really cool that I get to know you and meet you and help see you get free. And it's such a cool thing. So we have an amazing story today. So excited for you to get to know her. And today is a momentous day because it is the first day that we have ever had two Lydias on the show at the same time. Yes, you heard me right. This is Lydia's story. No, not me, the other Lydia. And I'm so excited for you to hear from her. So if you guys get tired of hearing the word Lydia, too bad, because that's the only name you're going to hear this entire interview. But I'm so excited for you guys to get to know this incredible, incredible woman. So, Lydia, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. So happy that you're here and willing to share your story. You are an absolute delight, and I have loved seeing your journey of getting free. And thank you for being willing to inspire others, because I know that, that idea sometimes seems so far away of wow, I could never get better. It's been too long. It's been too hard. But then hearing stories of those who have walked that path and are free now is just awesome. So thank you for being here, Lydia. And yeah, let's get into it. So tell us just a little bit about where were you at before we started working together. Tell us what your situation was with your relationship with food and how it was impacting your life.
Okay. Well, I need to start from the very beginning. When I was on my first birthday, I weighed 30 pounds. And then my first day of first grade, I weighed 70 pounds. My mom kept my report card, and they weighed us at the beginning and the end of the year. So at 6 years old, I weighed 70 pounds at the beginning of first grade. At the end of first grade, I was 90 pounds. And then I went on my first diet when I was 11. I don't remember how much I weighed. I don't remember if it was my idea or my mom's idea, but I actually liked it because I was special. I got special food. I got special treatment with my mom. The food actually was kind of gross, but my sisters ate what everybody else ate. I ate something special. And I had a chart that I could fill out, and that was special, I don't remember if I lost any weight, but anyway, I continued to be overweight. In 8th grade, I went on another diet, and I did lose some weight. I felt skinny. I wasn't as skinny as my sisters, but I was skinnier than I had been. But then by the time I was in 10th grade, I was 15, I weighed 200 pounds. And so after high school, I went on a liquid diet, and I lost a lot of weight really fast. And I got down to a size 9, and that was so skinny for me. But I also didn't have my period and, all kinds of stuff. Boys were looking at me that never had before, and then I'm thinking, I'm the same person on the inside. Why are you now attracted to me? Anyway, so then I struggled all through college. I gained the freshman 15 plus some, and it was just a struggle. I lived in the dorm. I ate in the cafeteria where it was all you could eat, and it was so hard not to eat all that I really felt compelled to eat, So I continued to gain weight. I got pregnant. It's I'm eating for 2, so I gained a lot, and then I didn't lose very much, and then I got pregnant again and gained more. Anyway, I've kind of been at this weight that I am for most of my adult life, kind of going up and down 20 pounds, maybe a few times. Anyway, so it's awful. I think about food all the time. I feel compelled to eat all the time. When I'm in a social situation, it's am I going to embarrass myself by eating too much? Or, I'm thinking about what the other people are eating, and are they looking at what I'm eating? And I don't, I don't feel pretty, and I didn't have much self-confidence. And so I didn't go out and actually do things that I wanted to do. And throughout my adult life, I've been depressed, clinically depressed several times, and I think it all is directly related to my food issues. Yeah, just not pretty. Not pretty at all. And just I just felt crazy, and I tried every diet except for like the kind where you have to buy prepackaged food because I have food allergies. And so I can't eat that food. But I mean, I did everything. I didn't do prescription diet pills, but I did like from the health food store diet pills, and nothing really worked. I mean, it would work for a minute or two, but so yeah, I was just pretty miserable.
Yeah. So this sounds like for you, Lydia, a lifetime of food struggle. Like since
Yes.
like your entire childhood, your entire teenagerhood, your entire adulthood. Well, I mean, we're not done yet. You're still an adult,
Right.
so but
Up to the point.
yeah, like up to this point, like a huge thing in your life always.
Yes.
And how many years would you say that you were actively trying to like fix this, like actively trying to like change something about your relationship with food and find a way to be free?
Well, since I was 11, so that's 44 years.
It's a lot of life.
A lot of life. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And a lot of life that I couldn't live because I was messed up with food.
yeah, what were some of the costs for you? Like, what were some of the things that you missed out on in life because of your relationship with food?
Well, I didn't really go for the career that I wanted when I first graduated from college because I didn't feel confident enough to do that. Um, I spent lots of money on food that I consumed and on diet solutions and on, stuff. I spent a lot of time, like I said, being depressed and not wanting to socialize, driving my husband crazy. Not being there for my children. Um, yeah, mostly it was just, on the outside I would put on a happy face, but on the inside I was just miserable.
Yeah, absolutely. Just even thinking just financially for you, Lydia, what would you guess during those 44 years? I know this is probably like, it's a big question, but like in the 44 years, what would you say that you spent on food and solutions that didn't work?
Oh, thousands of dollars easy. I mean, I don't know. And part of it was my parents' money, when I was living at home and whatever. And, actually college was kind of a bargain because I paid for the meal plan. And so I was able to eat lots of food. And I felt compelled. I've paid for this. I have to eat a lot, whatever. But yeah, thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And mentally, what was it like for you? Like, what percentage of your day would you say, when you started this program was taken up by just food thoughts, food guilt, food planning, overeating, binging, like, all those sorts of food brain thoughts?
Well, at least 50% of the day. I mean, when I first started your program, um, previously it was even higher. I had already kind of been doing some work. I'd already read Catherine Hanson's book, and I was starting my journey already. Yeah, it still was way too much that I was thinking about food and feeling guilty about eating. And yeah.
Yeah, because I know there's the mental energy that goes toward all this food brain stuff, but then there's also, like you said, just like the guilt and the, like you said, depression and these sorts of things that you attribute back to your relationship with food.
And
Tell
then I would be hungover from eating, from binging the night before. Then the next day I would feel hungover and bloated and, sluggish. And yeah, it not pretty.
And like physically, how did this affect you? Like that feeling of the next morning, like what was it doing to your life to physically be feeling that way?
Um, yeah, I was physically, I would be bloated. I would be sluggish. I would not want to get up and move. I was, I don't keep the house clean. I wouldn't do things that I needed to be doing. I would procrastinate just because I didn't feel physically like I was capable of doing things, but also just emotionally, it's like I'm not good enough or something. I don't know. Just yeah, it affected everything.
Yeah. So it sounds like just from all sorts of different angles, right? There's like, you're physically feeling terrible, you're emotionally feeling terrible, you're spending all this time, you're like mentally cluttered. I know, it's so hard. Tell me, share a little bit about what would like a typical like binge or overeating episode? Like, what was sort of your pattern that you were struggling with, Lydia?
Well, usually I'd eat a really good breakfast, and then I wouldn't be hungry until lunch, and I'd eat a good lunch. But then about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's like I had all these urges to eat, and I'd eat a handful of nuts, I'd eat a handful of raisins, I'd go away, I'd come back, I'd eat a handful of chips, and then it's dinner time, and I'm snacking all while I'm cooking dinner, and then I'd eat dinner, and then when I go back into the kitchen to put away the food, I'm eating, as I'm putting away the food and washing the dishes, and it was just like from 3 o'clock until like 10 o'clock, just grazing.
Yeah.
And I go from salty to sweet to salty to sweet,
Mm-hmm. So salty to sweet, really sort of like that ongoing graze binge of like 7 hours, it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 hours of the day. That's a lot
Yeah.
of life. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I just want to bring awareness to like, this issue looks very different for lots of different women, right?
Mhm.
Like some people, it's just like an isolated thing that happens and it happens quickly. And for some of us, it's just like sort of a graze all throughout the day. And I just want to say that no matter what your pattern looks like, if it's affecting your life, if you are miserable because of how you are feeling about food, then okay, let's fix that. Like,
Right.
so some people are like, oh, well, I don't know, like, can I get the help that I need? Because it doesn't look like this and this and this. It's like, hey, if it's impacting you, if it's like you were saying, causing you so much grief, then the same principles help. Like it's just about being in the driver's seat, knowing that you're empowered to eat whatever you want and to not eat whatever you want. Just like do what you want, essentially. Like maybe I should rename my program like the do what you want to do program, because like that's really what it's about. So thank you so much for sharing sort of where you're at. Any other way that this was majorly impacting your life that you feel like we haven't touched on that you wanted to share?
No, I think it was ugly.
Yeah, that was
Ugly.
all of it. So it sounds like you were, learning some principles moving forward, that this was still taking a lot from your life, half of your mental energy throughout the day, Lydia. So how did we first get connected?
Well, I stumbled across Catherine Hanson's book, Brain Over Binge. And so that was a great book. And it's like, oh, maybe this overeating is a habit. And that made sense because everything I tried didn't work. And how deprivation causes the binging, whatever. So then I thought, oh, well, I'll search YouTube for Catherine Hanson to see if she has any videos out there. So I saw her interview with you. And then you said, oh, well, you have this free ebook, and I'm all about free. So I got the ebook, and at first, it was just so weird because it's another Lydia. There's not very many of us in the world. And you're so cute. And so I just kept listening, and I kept looking, watching all your videos, and I just wasn't really able to get, I wasn't able to really implement your program, but I've tried everything else. I've been in Overeaters Anonymous for like 12 years, not because it helped me. Working the steps helped me emotionally and spiritually, but it didn't do anything about my food. But I knew that all the other diets weren't working either. So then it's like, well, this is something brand new. So you offered the free session. So I called and actually talked to Andrea, and it's like, well, this sounds like something that could help me. And so that's how I found you.
Beautiful. So what was it, Lydia, that made you decide to get the help that you needed? Like that what was the decision maker for you, or the hinge point that made you want to not go it on your own, or not just kind of keep experimenting? Like what was it for you that really helped you decide to move forward and get help?
Well, I have wanted to have help, my whole life. And I knew that I couldn't do it on my own. I had tried and whatever. And so I just needed somebody to help me one-on-one. And something about your message and in your little videos, it's like there's no shame and no judgment. And it's like, that's what I need, because I put enough shame and judgment on myself. I don't need from anybody else, and in all the other diets that I'd done, and even in Overeaters Anonymous, it feels like there's shame if you're not working the program, if you're not losing the weight, whatever. And I didn't need that anymore. And so you said, no shame, no judgment. It's like, that's what I need.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I hope you felt that, like, no shame, no
Yeah,
judgment.
no,
Like,
yeah.
So. So fun, beautiful. Okay, so then we started working together, and at what time point, like how many weeks into us working together, did you feel done with the overeating and the binge eating?
Well, it just kind of snuck up on me, but I think by week 5, I was pretty much done. I mean, week 4, I was still feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm halfway through your program and nothing has changed. And then like on week 5, it's like, wow, I'm not binging anymore. I don't have the desire. I don't even have very much chatter anymore. And it's a miracle.
It's so beautiful. So let's talk all about that. I'm so excited to celebrate you. So Lydia, what is life like on the other side? Like, what is freedom like? What are some of your biggest wins and celebrations?
Well, I can think about other things besides food, and I can think about my husband. I can think about my career. I can think about anything else. One cool thing is I moved into my current house 4 years ago, and it's got this open concept. So, the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room is all one big room. And I could never enjoy my living room because the kitchen was always right there. The food was always calling me. I was always down there eating, or I was there just really anxious because I wanted to be eating. So now I can enjoy my living room. I can sit there and I can sit on my couch and I can read a book or visit with somebody. The kitchen is still right there, but it doesn't call to me. And it's like, wow, that's cool. I like my house now.
That is so cool. You like your house. You could enjoy your house. Like, that's freedom, right? It's like you can sit in your own living room and be fine.
Right. And it's really cool because I've never had so much mental space to be thinking about other things. And so I'm kind of having fun thinking about what I want to think about. And, and so I've always done some kind of exercise. I've tried to throughout my life, but I'm really getting into cycling now and some other exercises. And I really enjoy the cycling because I'm just thinking about what I'm seeing, around. And I don't listen to music because I want to be able to be aware of the traffic around me. But I call out the chatter, and I know people must think I'm a crazy woman because my mouth is just going, But, I can enjoy that. And before it was just like, oh, you have to exercise. So, pick something. But now I'm enjoying this, and I'm enjoying the thinking that I can do while I'm doing it,
Beautiful. So you have your brain back. You can think about what you want to think about. And like, what better freedom is there than to think about what you want to think about? Like,
right.
It's so crazy how our brains get hijacked by food and we don't choose our thoughts anymore. Like, it's like, that's a bummer, So
Right.
have that freed up after 44 years, to have your brain back and to be able to enjoy, like being out biking, cycling, like this is just so cool. So how have things changed for you, like your relationship with food? Like, how do you feel about food and eating now?
Well, like the day 4 or something, when we had the first Q&A with you, I realized that eating is not a moral issue. All my life it had been. I was good or I was bad. My eating was good, my eating was bad. Food was good, food was bad. I felt like I was totally incapable of having any self-control or self-discipline because because my eating was so out of control and because that's all I ever thought about. And I realized it's not. I learned this habit when I was a little bitty girl before I was old enough to know any better. And so it just got ingrained. And then because I was dieting, my body is saying, oh, you need to eat, you're starving or whatever. And so it's all just biology that was working, not any moral issue on me, and that was just huge because that just took away so much guilt and so much shame. And, I really was trying to do the best thing. I knew my body didn't need to be 200 pounds, so I was trying to lose weight. But, my body is saying it can't do that, So that was just huge. So now it's like I don't have that guilt and I don't have that shame. Even if I do still overeat, I don't feel guilty or shame about it.
Yeah. So just taking away the morality of the food. Like food is just food, right?
Right.
And it's just like you
Right.
go throughout your day. So how is sort of your day of eating different? And I'm not talking about like a meal plan or whatever, or like what you're eating specifically, but just as you go, give us a little comparison of like how it would be like to eat on a day before this. And now what is it like to just go throughout a day and just consume food?
Right. So like before, I would eat breakfast and I would eat lunch, and then at 3 o'clock, I would just like start grazing. Okay. So now I eat the same breakfast and I eat the same lunch, but 3 o'clock comes and a lot of times I'm not hungry, or maybe I am hungry and it's like, I guess I'm hungry. Maybe I should eat something. And so I grab a thing, a piece of fruit or a handful of raisins or nuts or, whatever. And then I go about my day. And then I'm able to cook dinner and not taste anything. I mean, or I'll just take one taste, I won't just like be eating. And I can sit down and have dinner with my husband, and then I can go back and clean up the kitchen and I don't eat. And, I don't feel any urges to binge. I just, and it's just incredible. It's like, I feel like a normal eater.
Yeah, it's like, okay, no urges, just go throughout your day. Like food isn't a big deal. Like, yeah. And do you feel more present? Like sitting at dinner with your husband, like, do you feel more present with people?
Yes. And, my taste buds have changed, because like I would binge on something and now it's like, that, that didn't even, it doesn't even appeal to me. Or I take a bite and it's like, that doesn't even taste good. So that's kind of incredible.
Yeah. Oh, a really cool thing that I see come up over and over for women, going through the program, just getting free, is that they learn what they like. Like there are so many things that we binge on that we think are just like, that's my crack. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's heroin for me, and we think it's just our favorite thing in the world. And then once we're normal eaters, it's like, oh, I don't actually like that thing that I thought was my favorite thing in the whole world. And we figure out what we actually like. So
Right.
that's so fun. Like you said, your taste buds have changed. I would even say your taste buds are just going back to how they've been, because they're not like manipulated taste buds, like they're just like taste buds who can just be who they are. So that is so cool. So just, I know that you've had so many cool experiences, Lydia. One thing that you shared with me was about like how shopping is different for you. Just like, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So you tell us that we can eat anything we want, whenever we want, as much as we want. And so I really started believing that. So I went to the grocery store and I decided, wow, I can buy some cereal that I want just to eat a bowl of. Because before, when I would buy it, I would say I was buying it for my kids, but really I was buying it so I could binge on it, And so I felt really kind of giddy. I was at the grocery store and I was looking at the cereal. And it's like, well, what kind of cereal do I really like? And so I bought the box, and then I found some crackers that I can eat because, they don't have my allergens in them. And I found some cookies that I could eat, and I bought this stuff, and I bought some coconut milk ice cream. Because I've always I had so many food rules that you can't have desserts, you can't have sweets, whatever. And so like almost my whole life, whenever I'd eat ice cream, I'd feel guilty about it. Like I shouldn't be eating it. So I bought all this stuff, and I really didn't buy it thinking in the back of my head, I'm going to binge, like I used to do. I used to go shopping and I knew that I was going to buy this box of cookies and I would be binging on them. But so I brought the food home. I did not eat any of it in the car, which I have done in the past. And I realized the other day that that box of cereal is still in my cabinet. I've never even opened it, And yeah, and a box of cookies will last like 7 days instead of 2 hours, And I do eat some ice cream every day. For the last month, I've eaten some ice cream every day. And at first I was like eating the whole pint, and now I just put some in a coffee mug. And, it it's freedom.
It's beautiful. You're buying the things you want, you're eating the things you want. And I want to put an exclamation point on something, I mean, just awesome. You said, I realized the other day that the cereal is still in the cupboard unopened. So let's look at that for a minute, right? Because it's not like I've counted down and I'm on day 30 of not opening the cereal. And if I just keep white knuckling it, and if I can just hold out my willpower, maybe I'll be able to go 2 months without opening the cereal. Like, notice how when you're like, oh, I just realized, like, it seems like that box of cereal hasn't been about willpower. It hasn't been like a forced thing. It's literally a thing that sounds like you maybe forgot about.
I did.
Zero mental energy. And then it's like, oh, look at that box of cereal, right? Yeah, that's so fun. I remember, when I stopped binge eating, when I was bulimic, I would know, like, if you would ask me what's in the cupboard in the fridge, I could write like an itemized list of everything and quantities. Like, it was just like, oh, so much mental energy went towards this. And every once in a while, like, I'll want to, cook a recipe or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, do I have that ingredient? I don't know. I'll have to go look and see, because I literally don't know what food is in my house.
Yes.
I don't keep track of it. Like, why would you? You could just go look if you wanted. So, yeah, that is a beautiful thing. I love all these little things, and they'll keep coming up for you. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be so neat to see. The freedom is really the gift that keeps on giving, because you've got like this set of miracles now that are like, oh, that is so cool. And then, down the road, it's going to be a whole nother set of things as you just get more and more free. And it's like, this is amazing. So yeah, I'm very, very happy for you. So it sounds like that allowance of just like, hey, I can eat whatever I want. And you having ice cream every day, even, I mean, I'm not advocating counting calories or trying to restrict anything, of course, but just literally looking at the truth, you eating ice cream every day, is it fewer calories than binging for 7 hours a day?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes, well, I want to know for you, Lydia, when you first heard of the concept of like, wow, I can eat anything that I want, did that scare you at first? Like, did you have questions around that?
That scared me to death. It's because it's like, well, I want all this stuff. I mean, because on binges, I would just keep eating and keep eating. And it's like, I'm going to gain up to 500 pounds. But, I found out when I was really thinking what I want, a lot of times in my binges, like I'd eat a whole box of cookies. Well, after the fifth cookie, it really doesn't taste, but I have this urge and I just have to keep doing it, even though it doesn't taste good. And now I can stop because it's like, that really doesn't taste good. And I don't feel compelled to continue eating, and that's just incredible.
Yeah, that's huge. That is a big deal. I love it.
Yeah.
What else just comes up for you about your freedom, like the ways that you feel free now? What else are you celebrating?
Well, when I first came in the program, I really felt desperate. I needed to lose weight because a body should not be this big. And so you were saying, well, but we just work on getting rid of the binge eating and we don't really work about weight or whatever. And it's like, okay, fine. The binge eating is just horrible. Let me address that. But in that, I had to address this body issue stuff because I kept thinking I need to restrict because I need to lose weight and whatever. So I've listened to some of your other interviews of women talking about body issues and talking about looking at pictures of women who are my size or bigger. So I started looking at pictures on the internet. Well, most of these women, I mean, they're beautiful. They're like overweight or whatever, but they still don't have my body shape. And so to really be accepting of my body, I have talked to a friend. She's a photographer, and in 2 weeks, she's going to come and she's going to take pictures of me, like these body positive pictures in my underwear, so that I can look at my body from the outside, from all angles. And I've thought about, I've been pretty much this size most of my adult life. And I thought about what I've been able to accomplish. And in the last 3 years, I started a new career. I got my master's degree, and now I'm teaching. And I decided, I can't wait until I lose weight to be beautiful. I'm just going to wear makeup and jewelry, and I'm going to look pretty now. And that's all freedom, because I can do these things. I can live my life. I don't have to put off, I can buy bike attire, all this, the lycra and spandex and whatever, and go ride a bike, and I have every right to be wearing those clothes and riding my bike, and it is freedom. It's freedom.
Yes, I love that so much. I love everything. And now I'm going to say specifically things that I love. Like, okay, so I love that you're taking this into account. Like, you're realizing, like, I need to feel okay about me, right? And I love that you have one thing that has been a huge success factor for you, Lydia, is that you have always taken action. Like, I have never coached you on something and you're like, maybe. Like, you're like, okay, like, I'm going to take this seriously. You have been so coachable and so willing to do the work, and just, and being smart about it, right? It's like, okay, like, this is cool to look at these women, but they're not my body. So I'm going to do something about it, right? Like, what am I going to do? Like, these are amazing qualities of the work that you've done. And it's so awesome to step into your power, essentially. There is such a strong message in our society about, like, oh, beauty is only this certain thing. And it's like, I love that phrase. Like, I should, like, make it a me, make it a quote, Lydia, but not me. The other Lydia gets credit for this quote. I'm like, I can't wait to be beautiful. I love that. Cannot wait to be beautiful. Like, you've accomplished so much. You're living your life fully. Like, why wait? We all have, and I've totally been there. Like, oh, well, these are the things I'm going to do once I have the exact body that I want, because I can't be happy until I get there. It's like, well, you know what? Your body's not going to change overnight. Your body may never change. Your body will definitely change somehow, because we don't have control over our bodies. Like, we are all aging and changing, and like, our cells, like, in 8 years or whatever, you have a completely different body than you did before, because all your cells regenerate. Like, I love the idea of not waiting. And yes, I mean, it's obvious. You're beautiful. And I love that you are stepping into this of, like, yeah, I'm just going to live my life, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do the work to be at peace. And isn't it cool how you can feel better about your body without trying to manipulate it and make it change?
Right. Yeah. And you talk about set point, and I have no idea, if I had never started out as a binge eater when I was a little girl, what my body set point is, And so I just decided, well, this may be it. And so I just have to learn to accept it. So if my body decides to give up some weight after I'm eating now like a normal person, that is just icing on the cake. So
yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's the thing. It's like that approach of, well, I'm going to fix my binge eating. I'm going to be happy now. And then my body's just going to show up how it does. The cool thing is that you can never know what your set point is if you're binging,
right,
or if you're restricting. You literally don't know what your own body is. And
right.
For so many of us, that's the loop that keeps us binge eating sometimes for the rest of our lives, is that, oh, well, I've just got to lose the weight first, and then I'll address my relationship with food, and then I'll be happy, right? I'll lose the weight, and then I can be happy, and then maybe I'll address my relationship with food. As opposed to, how about we just end the binge eating, and then let your body show up how it shows up. And whatever that is, then we can learn to be happy with it. There's another piece of chatter that a lot of times comes up for us of, oh, well, I can't just fix my relationship with food, because what if my body shows up and it's not the exact body that I wanted? And then I'm doomed. It's like, okay, so what's the other option? You can keep binging. You can stay in your body however it is when you're binge eating, and you can be miserable for the rest of your life. Like, I know that it sounds like simple that way, but I don't think it's more complex. We think of, like, oh, well, I have to, without thinking of what's the alternative. Binging for the rest of your life? What's the alternative? Not feeling beautiful for the rest of your life? It's like, let's do this, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And anything else that just kind of come up for you? You're such a wonderful example of, doing the work and, the body image stuff and just feeling at peace in you and working toward that. Anything else, just body image wise that you wanted to touch on today?
Well, I was thinking about exercising, why I exercise. And partly it's because it gets the endorphins going, so it makes me feel good, emotionally. But it makes me feel strong. And recently I saw Serena Williams on TV. She's the tennis player, and she is so strong. She is not skinny at all. And I'm thinking, she's got this beautiful, strong body. And so I love that my body is strong. And, all growing up, even at this age, I mean, at this weight and age, I'm very healthy. I have low blood sugar and low blood pressure and, all this stuff. No doctor has ever told me I needed to lose weight all my life. If I said I feel like I can't control my eating, one doctor said, well, you just have to leave something on your plate and push away from the table. It's like, that is an impossibility, But anyway, where was I going with this? So anyway, that thing helped with my body positivity is like my body really is healthy, even though it's big. I give platelets at the Red Cross, and I can give 3 units because I've got so much blood in my body. And so, there's positive things about my body, and so I can just be thankful that I have a strong, healthy body, and I can just live in it and enjoy life.
Yeah, I love that. It's such a great perspective. And I'm so glad that you've had that experience of really stepping into like your health, right? Another thing I just want to because this comes up so much. So I'm so glad that we're talking about it. Another thing that comes up for people is like, oh, well, I can't just, fix my relationship with food because I have to lose weight because what about health? What about health? What about health? Right? And it's like we have such a confusion in our society to say that a certain size is a certain health. Like
Right.
I was way less healthy when I was a lot thinner because I was unhealthy. I was bulimic. I was, it's like it wasn't a healthy thing. Like me at a bigger size is much healthier. And what people get confused is people say like, oh, well, like I've got to lose weight to be healthy. And then the way that they lose weight is maybe they eat healthier and then they get healthier. Like, what if we just ate healthier and ended the binge eating at whatever size we are to get healthier? Because you can
Right.
be healthy at any size. And I think that some people don't understand that. And that's an important, essential thing to know. If you care about health, care about your behavior around food. Don't care
Right.
about your size. Your body's going to figure it out. But if health for you means you have to restrict, and restricting causes you to eat 1,000,000 extra calories of sugar every year, well, what do you think would be the biggest thing to change your health? Maybe learning how to not binge on 1,000,000 extra calories of sugar a year, right?
Right.
Yeah, that is such a great point. Beautiful, beautiful. And so one thing that I love is like you're getting free from your food stuff and you're just like feeling great. And I have loved to see you apply these principles to other areas of your life. So tell us a little bit about how have you taken the principles that you've learned just about your thoughts in your mind that have ended your binge eating, and how they helped you in other areas of your life, Lydia?
Well, they've really helped me in my relationships because I feel like with my husband, I feel more confident in myself and I feel pretty and whatever. So then I feel pretty around him. I act differently around him because I feel different inside. And it's allowed me to be more compassionate to other people because I have space to think about them instead of food or whatever, and I'm able to look at people that are actively overeating or binging or whatever, and I have compassion for them. And it's like, yep, I was there, and I know how they're feeling, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing. I think it's such a beautiful thing. There are so many women that I talk to that say they want to get better because they have a desire to give other people hope and to be able to, you know, have energy for others. Like, and it comes up so much. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, that we get more of ourselves back, but it helps the whole world. Like, that's really my mission, is I want to free these amazing, powerful women out into the world and just let them have, I mean, if I can help every woman get 50 to 90% of her mental energy back, like, what is the world gonna be? Like, it's gonna be awesome for everyone on the planet. Like, this is a really just important thing, and thank you for being a part of it, and, you know, being willing to step forward with just that bravery and that commitment to do what you need to do to be free. And I'm so, so happy for that freedom. So is there anything else on your mind, Lydia, that, you know, comes to your mind that you wanted to share today that feels important for you to make this complete?
Well, I'm so honored that you asked me to speak with you, to be interviewed, because I really want to encourage mostly women, but I mean, there's men out there too, who, like me, are postmenopausal or whatever, and have been overeating or binging their whole lives, that you can have freedom. There is a way to overcome and to you know, start over. I mean, not necessarily start over, but you know, to just be different and to be free of the food thoughts. Yeah.
I love it. To get your life back. And I think that is a wonderful encouragement. And any sort of, you know, advice that you would want to give to those who are listening and maybe are in your same position, and, you know, like, they wonder, can this change? Because it started when I was 8, you know, and it's like, is there any sort of just advice that you would give to those listening who are looking for hope?
I would advise that they hire you as a coach and they do your program, because it works. And my word for this year, for 2017, is transformation. And you have incredibly transformed my life and my brain, and it's incredible. So yes.
That's beautiful. And I'm so happy to know you. So happy we share the same name. I think
Yes.
you're representing the name very well. You're so awesome. Let's keep a good name for our name, right?
Right.
Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for just the honor that it is to be your guide in this, to help you to just be free. It's a wonderful thing. And of any woman to just have that freedom and to be able to live her life fully, like, I just feel like you're such a good investment in freedom. Like, it's like, well, if we're going to free somebody, let's free Lydia, because she's a wonderful person that's good for the world. So let's give her all the mental energy and all the good stuff. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. All right. Any other thoughts on your mind for today, Lydia?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I'm so just happy for you. So fun to celebrate you. And yeah, for those listening, if you would like more info and, you know, just knowing how to start your own journey, of course, you can subscribe here for new videos every Monday. You can also go to lydialifestyle.com, and from there will be a couple of links. So there's a free ebook, there's a free Facebook support group, and there may or may not be, but I would check like right now, because they tend to go very quickly, some openings. We do free 45-minute sessions to help you get that first step to recovery solid. And this is a service that we offer. We open up the calendar as much as we can. We get a lot of people applying, but I would pop over to lydialifestyle.com like right now and see if you can snag a spot, and just go from there. Make sure to wait to let the calendar load, because it takes a minute, but that would be a great next step. And I invite you to take that next step in your freedom and your health and your happiness and your brain power and all the other things that come with having freedom. So this is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, and Lydia, the free woman. And thank you so much for sharing your story. Signing off. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
You have so many options. You can watch more videos. You can subscribe for new videos every Monday. You can even join our Facebook group with an amazing support community.